Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be all about the different cordlines that I'm growing here in the garden. If you stick around, we'll reveal which one's done the worst of all of them, and we'll start off with the ones that have done the best to start with, work our way through to the one that's been an absolute failure, really, a bit of a disaster. Right, let's get on with it. Start with the most common one, Cordyline Australis. This one I bought as a bargain plant, only a couple of quid a few years ago, maybe 3 years ago this went in the ground. Tiny little plant. I see down here, if you can see, I think multiple stems in here. I think that maybe 3 or 4 in there. And it was a very sickly looking plant. Got it planted up pretty quickly once I got it. And it's now, I don't know, 7 foot, maybe 8 foot to the top of the leaves there. Can't really go wrong with this one. Super hardy. Be nice and green. And as it sizes up, gives a nice bit of overhead canopy. I'm going to be able to strip off some of these lower leaves as they yellow off. Give me plenty more opportunity to underplant. Yeah, can't really go wrong with this. I think I'm going to add more to the garden. I think I might have 3 of these I think I've got already, but you know, I think you can go wrong with these. Yeah, it's lovely specimen, really. We'll head round and we'll look at a couple more of the same Australis, see how they're growing. Head round this way. This canna's about to flower. First one in the garden, I think that one is red velvet. Beautiful dark foliage though. Let's keep on heading round. Under the mousses. There we go. So around here we've got another Australis down here. This one was struggling actually. And earlier this year I put some rocks round because it had a bit of a wobble on it. It's not too bad now. It had a real wobble on it, and I think there were two other growths there. I've dug them out because they were really rocking and rolling. Took them out, potted them up. They've actually done pretty well. Like there's, have a look. This is one of the ones that we dug out. I dug that one out, rooted that well. Find a home for that in the garden now. To be fair, it's got a couple of heads on it as well. I don't know if you can really make that out on there, but there's at least 2 heads on that one. That'd be nice to get that planted somewhere. I don't think it's going to go exactly where it is there, but it's just plonked in the bed there. But yeah, this had been struggling for a couple of years. I mean, you can see a bit of a yellowing on it, but the new growth's starting to come through now. Yeah, it's looking good now, this one. Starting to kick on, which is what I wanted. Grow up here, up and above the fats here. Just also looking really nice here. So then, in this spot here, where that cordline is there in the pot, I did have a pecco, which was there for a couple of years, and every year it seemed to like lose its growing point, grow back, but then it gave up this spring. It never really came back, so I dug it out. It was nice. It's a nice wider leaf than this standard one. Nice colour running through the middle, but yeah, I say it gave up. So I may potentially buy another of those, but we'll see. You know, they're not. Sometimes you're better off just sticking with these standard ones. I mean, we'll see some of the others I've got in the garden, and we'll see how they do over the next couple of years. I'm getting the best protection I can, really. So it's still a pretty new garden, and there's not a lot of cover. Actually, if you pan round this way, avoiding all the junk corn and over there my manure, fish lot. So we've got another standard Australis here, a nice bend on it. I've actually got some nice wide leaf blades on this one, but doesn't really kick out much growth each year. This, don't know if it's because I don't really feed it or do anything with it. I just like do its own thing. Don't really get much water or anything around here. Could have a bit of a tidy up round the back, I think. So let's kick on to some of the different varieties we've got then. So here we've got them. This one's Cordline Torbay Dazzler. This is a real beauty. And I'm sure some of you watch the other gardening YouTube channels. Tiki Tropical's one of my favourite tropical gardening channels. He's got an absolute beauty of this planted under one of his trackies, so that's kind of replicated that. Hope that the trackies give it a little bit of overhead cover. Like I say, I've not got too much cover here at the minute, but hopefully just gives it enough cover to get it through. Borderline hardy, so I think it will make it through at least for a number of years. So if I need to, I will protect it. I saw a little trick with a zip tie around the base. Put your zip tie around loosely. If any bad weather is forecast, just run in, pull it up. That'll close all of the leaves up nice and tight. Just gives it a bit of protection in the growing point, and then as the weather passes, drop it back down to the base of the trunk, opens back up, quick and easy. So I'll be doing a bit of that this winter. So that's your Cordline Torbay Dazzler. As we pan round here, you'll see here, this is Charlie Boy. Beautiful, look at that. Really glows in the sun. When the sun catches this, it looks absolutely fantastic. Beautiful plant. This one, definitely a bit more on the tender side. Again, planted under this trachea, just to try and give it that little bit of protection. I will definitely try and protect this more than any other one I'm growing though. I don't want to lose this one. It's not expensive to replace, but I'd rather not be replacing it every summer. And if you stand back, it really does shine, that one. Late now, about 8 PM. A lovely warm day, but earlier in the day when the sun was shining on it, oof, lovely. Try and get some more footage of that. Add some footage in for you. So then we'll head on to the not so successful cordlines I've been growing. I've got one in a pot just here for you now. Have a look. So here we go. This, if you can see here, look, Cordline Superstar. I had this in the ground the other year. As you can see down here, it completely died off on me. I dug it up out of the ground because it just taking up valuable space, looked terrible. Dug it up, sprouted a couple of growth points. I actually separated them and I've grown them both on this year, and they've both rooted out the pot. So you know, I have actually now got 2 plants, but it's going to take a bit of time for them to grow on. The other's smaller than this one, but much wider leaf blade on these. I mean, this is still small, it's a young plant. These will get lovely and wide. Really nice cordline, but like I say, it's not really very hardy. I mean, surprisingly, I don't actually grow your standard red star, which is just a bigger version of, essentially. Don't know why I've not got one of them, but I don't have one in the garden anywhere. Not so fond of the colour really. I always think they look a bit wishy-washy, almost brown, which, to be fair, this looks a bit brown. But this would be a nice plant if you could get it to grow big. Just don't know if I'll ever manage it. I'll keep it in a pot though, till the garden establishes a bit, and give it a bit of protection. I've just not got enough overhead protection at the minute. When things like this Schefflera, when it gets planted, nice Taiwaniana, when that gets planted, grows a canopy to help protect things. This is not staying here either, it's just potted here because it's, if you've seen any of my other videos, this is where I had a lot of tetrapanax pop up here, so I've dug them out now, potted them on. If they survive, they survive. They don't have much root on them, to be fair. You know, nice big fleshy fat root off the mother plant, but then not a lot of their own roots. So Not sure how they'll do. Alright, so we'll head on to the final one I'm growing. And here we go, look. Very poor. So this one, very yellow specimen now. Terrible, I mean, just looks terrible all the way up. This one, Cordline Emerald Star. Similar to Superstar, but with green leaves, nice and wide blades. But for whatever reason, it actually looked greener than this in about my hatch time. It's just continued to go downhill, really. Look at that. Terrible. And this is in a pretty good spot in the garden, so I think this is going to come out. So you can see it's regrowing, but that's just going to get knocked back again this winter and just probably die off, to be fair. Not fantastic, really. So probably wouldn't try that again. It's not the cheapest of Cordlines for what they are. You know, you can pick up the standard ones really cheap, but I think this were maybe £40 for only, you know, there's not much trunk on that. £40 quite a lot, really, for a plant that's very borderline hardy. I don't even know if you would say it's hardy. It's a shame, really. They look nicer with the wider leaf blades, but I think you might as well just stick with your standard Australis. When you look up and you see this one here, you might as well just stick with that, aren't you? Much better. As that grows up and up and up here, be a lovely canopy there. Hopefully now it's starting to kick on. I mean, I say we're only here at the beginning of the year. So now another couple of, I know they're going to drop as they open up, but definitely a lot taller than it's ever been. So yeah, just a quick one, guys. Got any other Cordlines to suggest I'd try? Might give them a go, but you know, there's a lot of the fancier colours knocking about that. You know, you need a bit of protection, really. And there's plants I'd much rather protect in the garden than a Cordline. But yeah, it's starting to fill out a little bit now. Looking nice. The Musabaju is looking great as well. Well, looking better a couple of days ago before the winds battered them. Bit windy now, but you can't really tell. I don't know, you might be able to tell with the audio. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.